Don't even deal with that. I know it saves you so much money. So I don't want to be like the rude, like the parent or something, like don't mess, but it's just like you're taking a chance. It's a gamble. Like I get
Yeah.
it if you really want to save money, but like, and if it works out for you, great. But if it doesn't work out for you, you're going to spend so much more money fixing your teeth. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Thrive State Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. V, triple board certified MD and performance and longevity expert. And on today's show, we talk about oral health. That's right, your teeth, your gums, everything that has to do with it, because everything is connected to everything. And, the mouth is really the gateway to the opening of everything from the outside of your body, inside of your body. And so oral health is super important. And if you have bad oral health, it could lead to multiple systemic problems, including diabetes, cardiovascular disease, dementia, Alzheimer's. The list goes on and on. So oral health is super important. And today we actually have a very special guest. I love having the conversation with her. You'll feel her energy, you'll feel her vibrancy, and she gives super practical tips how to have a great oral health routine. We also dive into topics as mouthwash, should we use it, should we not? Fluoride, should we use it or not? How you should get your teeth whitened, and whether or not you should use at-home straightening devices. All this information I find very practical and useful for anybody who wants to optimize their optimal health, which will also lead to an optimization of your overall health as well. If you're new to the podcast, welcome in. I know you're going to enjoy this episode. I bring the thought leaders, the experts that bring you all the information, all the new data, all the new tips, tactics, and techniques so you can elevate your life in health and love and relationships and longevity in performance. And if you're returning to the Thrive State podcast, welcome back. Thank you for allowing the show to grow. It is because of you guys and your comments that this show is continuing to grow. And if you haven't already, please help the show grow by leaving a 5-star review wherever podcasts are heard. Also, if you haven't already, the second edition of my book, Thrive State, is out at thrivestatebook.com or wherever books are sold. And in this second edition, we give expanded content on basically how your state affects everything around you. We also tell you the why your goals, your aspirations might not be met because there's a part of your biology that might be holding you back. And when you can understand this, you could really unlock who you're really meant to be so that you can make the choices that create the best version of you. Again, check it out at thrivestatebook.com. And now onto today's episode. I can't wait for you to meet our guest. She is energetic. She is fun. She is super knowledgeable. She is Whitney DiFoggio, who is also known as the Teeth Talk Girl. Now, over the past 5 years, Whitney has actually leveraged the web to share information surrounding the importance of oral health. She's done so in her YouTube platform, in her Instagram, in TikTok, and she actually really, I would probably say, very genuinely has a love for dental health. She wants to make it fun and accessible for anyone. And I think the more you listen to her, the more you're going to want to go to your dentist. So I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. And not only has she amassed a huge YouTube following, she's really allowing the general public to have more awareness and fall in love with the oral hygiene process. Now, the goal of Teeth Talk Girl was to share dental health in a fun and entertaining way. And trust me, when you go to the YouTube channel or Instagram account, that's what you will find. Teeth Talk Girl now has over 300,000 subscribers. She's all over social media and all platforms, and it's really an awesome resource for anyone who wants to know about oral health. And again, it's just very useful takeaway information that I think you will find very, very useful and find very applicable to your own health as well as the health of your family. Whitney is currently residing in Chicago, Illinois, also loves yoga. You'll find out all about her and some fun facts as well when you listen to this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this conversation with the Teeth Talk Girl, Whitney DiFoggio. Whitney DiFoggio, welcome to the Thrive State Podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
We've got the Teeth Talk girl on the podcast, and I just can't help because this is a video podcast as well. I get to see the beautiful teeth. So she definitely lives what she speaks.
Thank you.
Now, Whitney, there is a segment of our show that our audience is very familiar with, and it's just a chance for us to get to know you better. It's called the 5 to Thrive, game show style, 5 questions, 1,000 points each. And if you win a healthy oral meal that's good for your teeth, good for your body on me the next time we meet in person.
Whoa,
so my next
love
question to you, Whitney, is are you ready to play the 5 to Thrive?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory, since we're talking teeth today, I'm going to bring up a weird one. Going to the dentist. That's what inspired me to do everything I do now. My dentist was so cool. I was obviously a little girl. She was a young new dentist, and I just thought she was so cool. I just wanted to be her. I didn't even think about being a dentist. I wanted to be her. And then fast forward, I realized, oh, the dental world is pretty cool. And here we are. I'm a dental hygienist. And honestly, I think it's all because she inspired me.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can't wait to dig into more of that a little bit later. 1,000 points there. Question number 2. What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Goodness, so I'm a really picky eater. So this is funny to me. Like everything is strange that I eat, but I'm trying to think, like, I will say, okay, so my family is Polish. Half of my family's Polish, and they make this soup. So someone who's like from Poland is going to hear this and be like, she's messing all this up. But my grandparents, they loved making this soup, and it was like vinegar and horseradish and like the oil from baking ham. The like old oil, like it was this gross. And they put hard-boiled eggs in it. It just like was a mashup that made no sense, and everybody loved it. And I was like a little kid who'd be like, it was called like borscht, I think, maybe. And I don't know, it was awful. I can't even think about it. My eyes are tearing thinking about
it. All right, so stay away from borscht. Is that how you call it?
Yeah, I think so. That might be the beet soup more, but I don't know. They called it borscht.
Sounds good. Awesome. 2,000 points. Question number 3 is, what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Adventurous. All right. Adventurous. Ooh, I'm going to say, that one took me a second, but I'm just going to say zip lining in Colorado. You know, zip lining is one thing, but like zip lining in Colorado for the first time when you're walking, every time you got to walk up the mountain, and then you zip line a little more, then you'd walk, you hiked up the mountain. I guess hike is the right word. Then you zipped again. By the time you were all the way on the top and you were zip lining, it was like, I'm not scared of heights or anything like that. But I just feel like that was adventurous for me because I just kept looking down like, all right, this is probably a weird thing that I wouldn't usually do. So very adventurous.
Wow, it sounds so fun. And let's give them some props because I probably want to go there pretty soon too because somebody just asked me to come out of Colorado. What was the name of the zip lining place you went to?
Oh, I want to say it was near Buena Vista.
Okay.
Goodness, I don't know, but I will let you know after the fact.
Sounds great. All right,
no
3,000 points thus far. You're doing great. Question number 4 is, if we were to put you in front of a stage of 50,000 people, handed you a microphone and forced you to sing a karaoke song, what would it be?
System of a Down, Chop Suey.
Oh, wow.
I know that you didn't expect that from me, but that's what my number 1 karaoke song is. I did it at a bowling alley once, and everyone was like, look at this girl going up there. And I was like, hi. And then all of a sudden, what's up? Like, it was crazy. And so it was really, yeah, I could do some screamio.
All right. We'll definitely have to go to a karaoke party at some point together.
That's
Last
song,
question, all the marbles for the healthy lunch or dinner on me. Last question is, what is something on your bucket list that you want to complete in the next 2 years?
Simple. Boom tap, finishing my master's degree.
Ooh,
right. I'm working on a health communication degree right now, and I love it. It's so interesting, and it's everything I'm kind of doing, but it's like academically making sense and putting theory behind what I'm already doing and blah, 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 blah. I just can't wait to have that degree and be like, I'm done.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for what you do and for, first of all, your energy. I mean, I think anyone that has, a bright, vibrant energy probably has some health in there. And you're one of the very few people that actually talk about oral health, in the functional medicine and integrative space, everybody's talking about gut health. Very few people are talking about oral health. And we know it has a lot to do with the body. But before we even dive into the health stuff, I got to know this because I've got a daughter who's a little over 2 now. You mentioned before when
Okay.
you were young, it was your
Mhm.
dentist that inspired you. So
Mhm.
as a dad looking to take his daughter to the dentist for the first time,
Mhm.
what should I be looking for in terms of the dentist, and how do I make it fun for her so that she enjoys the experience of going there?
100%. I think that's awesome that you like thinking about it is like the first step. Someone who's thinking about how to make it a good experience is already going to make it a better experience than someone who's not thinking about making it a good experience, right? But my number one thing I tell all patients, that parents, is that do not tell your kid, don't be scared. It's not going to hurt. Don't even say those words. Don't say the word hurt or scared or anything,
Mm,
because now they're thinking, why am I supposed to be scared? Like, if you make it sound like something bad's going to happen, then there's stress that it is going to happen. That's my biggest thing. Oftentimes, I think parents think that they're going to associate the dentist with going to the doctor, and a lot of kids have to go to the doctor for vaccines, getting shots and stuff. So
mm,
I feel like they're nervous they're going to get hurt, but like they don't think of us as doctors at first. They don't. It's so different. We always just say we're like their friends and like we're here to like count their teeth. We try not to make it a big deal so we don't seem so medical with kids. At least that's my philosophy. I'm sure everyone's different. But we work with a lot of pediatric patients. But yeah, that's my big thing. Number one, do not say it's scary. Just say we're gonna go have fun. We're gonna get our teeth counted. We're gonna brush them like we always do. We're gonna have the dentist brush them, and then they make sure everything's healthy. And then you probably get a prize or a new toothbrush. It's a really fun thing. We just try to make it so fun. We're gonna make your teeth healthy and fun.
All right, I'm
That's
sending
my thing.
my daughter to Chicago. I know you only work a couple days every month, but we'll hunt you down because you're gonna make it
you're
fun.
you're so funny. Every pediatric dental office is going to give you that good energy, and like even general dental offices will give you good. Family dentists will give you good energy. That's what we do. We love that good energy. Kids are so fun, and we just want them to have fun. You're so
Oh,
nice
that's
to them.
awesome. And I love the fact that you mentioned it really even starts before you get to the dental office, is how you approach it.
Yes.
And if you can create an environment that a kid is looking forward to, that probably sets the tone when they get to the office.
100%. Yeah, what the do, show, tell, or show, tell, do. I'm not sure the order, but you got to do it all. And yeah, it's good to let them know what's going to happen there. Like, hey, they're going to count your teeth. They're going to brush your teeth with their special toothbrush and all that stuff. Make it fun. But you also said what to look for in a dental office, or what to. I just make sure it says family in it, like family dental, or of course pediatric. You can't go wrong. But sometimes I would, hard to say. I sometimes beg to differ. It depends on the family, but or on yourself and your family best. But sometimes I like taking when kids are taken to a general dentist office or a family dental office, because then they can kind of watch you do the same thing as them. You know what I mean? Like they could
Great
be like,
idea. Yeah.
or even if they want to go to a pediatric, it can't hurt. Sometimes, again, if there's two parents there or something, where someone could watch the child while the other parent is getting their teeth cleaned and just be like, look at what they're doing. Kind of fun. I mean, having said
Oh,
that, you do enjoy going to the dentist as well. They don't want to see you if you're stressed. But if you
right.
enjoy if you enjoy going, I always tell my patients personally, like, bring your kids, like, so they let the little ones, so they see what to expect. I'll say hi to them and I'll be like, next time I'll clean your teeth. That's what I like to do, but everyone's different. Always check with your office.
All right. You're not giving your appointment number to anyone else, because I think after this podcast, you're probably getting like, saturated with everybody wanting to work with you because your energy is awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about oral health, because we know, certainly in the medical field, everything is connected.
Mhm.
There's no one, system that is not
Mhm.
connected to another system, but not that many people are talking about oral health. Can you kind of talk about sort of like your holistic approach from the health
Yeah.
to the mouth and how it's connected to everything else?
100%. So the oral systemic link, like right there, right? I think it's very exciting information. A lot of people haven't heard of the oral systemic link, at least in mainstream media. Maybe professional medical professionals have heard, but there is actually a link between the health of your mouth and your overall body's health. So say you have disease in your mouth, whether it's a cavity, we consider cavities a disease, or a tooth infection or gum disease, it can potentially spread to another part of your body, whether it's a tooth infection spreading to your brain, or a gum disease linking as a risk factor to heart disease, diabetes, and a bunch of other conditions. So that's kind of the oral systemic link. And what I try to really approach both on social media, YouTube, my videos, and then in person with my patients, I just try to explain that it's not all about having bright, healthy, clean teeth. It's there's more to it. It's about your overall health.
No, for sure. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
lot of bacteria in our mouth, and certainly, any type of gum disease is going to open your systemic circulation to everything that's going on in the mouth. And we know the links to Alzheimer's, dementia, kidney disease, so on and so forth. We know that people that have bad cardiac heart valves, if you get
Mhm.
some bacteria in there, you could really get,
Mhm.
an infected valve, and that's really, really messy as well.
Yes, yeah, of course. Right away when I heard valves, I'm like, that's one of my. You pre-medicate before you get cleanings most of the time, at least for so many. There's so much that's involved with dental health and oral health that so many patients aren't aware of. When you spoke of the valves, my mind was like, I have so many things to say about heart valves, because a lot of patients won't tell us their full medical history when they
Yeah.
before they get a cleaning. They're like, it's fine. It has nothing to do with my teeth, and I'll be like, no, just tell me what you got going on, and then maybe a patient will be like, well, I had a heart surgery with a valve replacement. I'm like, that's very important for me to know. They're like, it's not my teeth. I'm like, no, but it's all connected. So and then poor dental health in general, of course, can weaken the immune system. The mouth is the gateway to the entire body.
Yeah, and I can't stress that enough.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth
Mm-mm.
is linked to so many different things, and having a good complement of bacteria in your
Yes.
mouth is super important as well. One of the things
Mm-hmm.
we've started noticing is people doing antiseptic mouthwashes
Mm-hmm.
tend to have, higher blood pressures. And now that we
Mm-hmm.
know it is so important for certain bacteria in our mouth to be present when we eat certain foods to activate nitric oxide, and for us to have nitric oxide in our body to actually lower our blood pressures. What are you finding, or what are you telling people in terms of the type of toothpaste or mouth rinses that are out there? What might be some safer alternatives?
Yes. So when you bring up, so safer alternatives, really quick, I just want to piggyback off the antiseptic comment. Another thing I do not like about antiseptics as a dental hygienist is they dry out your mouth.
Mm,
So oftentimes, especially if they have alcohol, like, you always want an alcohol-free mouthwash. I mean, there are some cases when your dental provider might recommend you use an alcohol mouthwash for a short period of time, like right after you have some type of gum procedure or something. But using that long term, I'm not all about that. It dries out your mouth. Dry mouth leads you to cavities, and then obviously we know that's never good. But yeah, I'm all about use the most basic things. You don't have to do anything fancy. Sometimes going too fancy and overboard is like too much of a good thing, right? So I would just say I'm all about a fluoride toothpaste. You can't go wrong. It's approved by the American Dental Association to prevent cavities. If someone feels differently about fluoride, at least use hydroxyapatite, nano hydroxyapatite toothpaste. If you're into more of a holistic approach, there's pretty good research out there about that. But I'm all about the whatever the American Dental Association approves, since they test it for efficacy and safety. But so yeah, fluoride toothpaste, a toothbrush. If you want to go wild and get an electric one, can't hurt to have an electric toothbrush. It does the work for you. You're more likely to do a good job. Can you do a good job with a manual? Of course, but there's more room to mess up and not do the motions right with a regular manual. So electric toothbrush, the fluoride toothpaste, and I personally don't think you need a mouthwash unless you are very cavity prone, and
mm.
maybe you want to add an anti-cavity mouthwash. That's the only time I'm like, the only reason you usually use a mouthwash is for fresh breath. And like, if you're using that here and there, that's fine. But it's not really, I mean, everyone don't come at me, but it's not really doing anything for you other than maybe giving you fresh breath for a second. It's not helping your teeth. I have so many patients that be like, which mouthwash should I use instead of flossing? I'm like, nothing replaces flossing. You have to Having said that, I could go on and on. I'm probably talking about I got excited about when I say flossing. I wasn't even going to bring up flossing because I could never stop. But long story short about flossing, of course, traditional string floss, if you use it properly, is great, is the best. Do that at least once a day. But if for some reason traditional string floss is just not your thing, whatever, manual dexterity, you're having trouble with the string, of course, those floss picks that are on the little handle or something's better than nothing. I have YouTube videos on like how to properly use a floss pick because you could use it pretty poorly easily. So how to like adapt it to your tooth. Water flossers are another option for some patients. Interdental brushes, they're the ones that look like little bottle brushes or like little, what do we call them? Yeah, they look bottle brushes. They look like little brushes. So there's so many things to clean in between your teeth. So my whole thing was brush twice a day with a fluoride toothpaste. If you want to add electric toothbrush, great. And then of course floss at least, or clean between your teeth with something at least once a day. You don't really need mouthwash in my opinion, unless you're very cavity prone.
You bring up something that is, I heard brought up in sort of holistic dental societies, which is this controversy on fluoride.
Yeah.
What is out there? And obviously you are promoting a fluoride toothpaste. What is their stand on it? And how do you look at that?
Yeah, on the fluoride toothpaste, I think so. Ooh, I shouldn't have brought it up because I always try to avoid controversial, but here we are. So I think the big thing about fluoride toothpaste is obviously if you eat it, like it's not meant to be eaten. Like, right? Like if you were to eat the whole tube of toothpaste, yeah, you're gonna hurt your tummy. You're gonna be upset, right? But like I think that's where a lot of it has stemmed from, that it's dangerous or bad if used incorrectly. However, that's everything. You shouldn't be eating your hairspray either. You know what I mean? Just because it's in
I
your
gotta
mouth,
stop doing that.
I know, right? Just because it's in your mouth doesn't mean you're ingesting it. You
Right.
spit it out. So I don't know exactly that stance, but the stance I know is that if you use it properly, it prevents tooth decay, and preventing tooth decay can in turn prevent all these other things going on in your body, right? In addition to manual removal, I will say the most important thing is manual removal, which is brushing and cleaning between your teeth, flossing. You have to get that plaque and biofilm. You have to disrupt that stuff that's sitting on your teeth, disrupt it and get rid of it. The fluoride toothpaste just adds to make the enamel stronger and less likely to get decay, but really just removing that plaque is so critical.
This episode of the Thrive State podcast is brought to you by the Thrive State Accelerator. The Thrive State Accelerator is actually a home course that I developed using the exact same techniques I work with my celebrity clients, CEOs, and executives on how to get them to the Thrive State. The Thrive State Accelerator teaches you how to master your 7 bioenergetic elements. That's sleep, nutrition, movement, stress and emotional mastery, relationships, our thoughts and mindset, as well as purpose. In this Thrive State Accelerator, you're also going to get a bonus module on optimization. That's how I talk about supplementation, peptides, all the optimization techniques I use with my clients to get them to the Thrive State. Now, for some of you who are just joining us for the first time, you guys might be wondering, what is the Thrive State? Well, the Thrive State is actually the energy, the epigenetic environment we give to ourselves, telling our DNA how to act and how to respond. And if we want optimal health, longevity, and peak performance, if we can master these 7 bioenergetic elements, our ability to have those 3 things that we just said, optimal health, longevity, and peak performance, is at its greatest. And it also prevents you from getting chronic symptoms like brain fog, being overweight, feeling sluggish, acne, pain, all these chronic symptoms, as well as preventing you from getting chronic disease. So getting to that Thrive State is really getting to that state to master being that very best version of yourself so you could show up for you, for your family, for your business, everything that's important to you. So go ahead, check it out right now at kienvu.com/accelerator and use coupon code podcast25 for 25% off. Now back to the podcast. Remove the plaque and don't eat your toothpaste.
Yes,
right.
Don't eat
it. Very good information there. Let's talk a little bit about gums, because this is something that's kind of near and dear to my family's heart. My dad his gums recede very easily, mine do as well, and it's
Yeah.
sensitive. Are there more people that are genetically prone to more sensitive gums? And in those situations, how do you know if you've got, gum sensitivity, and what can you do about it?
So genes definitely can play a role in any type of gum disease, gum gum inflammation, or we were saying even recession. So, but I wouldn't say it's the only. I'm always really hesitant to saying it's genetic, or because the number one cause of gum issues is poor oral hygiene. Having said that, I'm saying it so like nicely that I never want to offend anyone. It's not like you're not a good brusher. That's not what I'm saying. I'm more people. There are people that are more prone to it and have to work harder than others,
Mm,
right? But then like there's other people that might not be prone to it at all, but they don't do a good job brushing and flossing. So now they're going to get gum disease. Whereas someone who works so hard and they probably do so good, but maybe they just can't keep up with it because of their how prone they are. So I just it's a balance,
mm,
nature versus nurture, right? I always say if it runs in your family, for sure you probably already have to work harder, right? Because you're
right.
already predisposed. So something you can do is just go to the dentist routinely, go see your dentist, your dental hygienist. There's so many things you won't be able to tell what's going on at home. Only they can tell. There's little numbers we take. We check the
Mhm,
measurements between where the gum meets the tooth.
right.
There's a specific measurement that's supposed to be. We can tell like at the earliest signs that something's going wrong with your gums. So getting those routine checkups is so important. Of course, dental x-rays, we can tell if your bone is getting a little low. Like maybe that's not good if your bone's getting low. Why is it getting low? Let's figure it out. So like I really think, of course, oral hygiene at home is important, but so is going to your dental office just to kind of see what your baseline is.
Mm. Have you found certain brushes to be helpful in those situations? Do you find manual versus electric, things like that? Anything for those people that are particularly sensitive?
For sensitivity, I would say, of course, you always want to be gentle no matter what,
Mm,
whether you're
yeah.
sensitive or not. You always want to use a soft bristled toothbrush. Why do they even make medium, or why do they even make hard? I always say, why do they sell cigarettes? I don't, it's just, they shouldn't exist. Hard and medium bristles don't use those. So you should always use soft. And then in addition to that, I always, if you're going to use an electric toothbrush, make sure you find one. If you're sensitive, especially, make sure you find an electric toothbrush, and most of all of them have this nowadays, that has like a pressure sensor. So it'll
Mm,
either light up or it'll alert you that you're pressing too hard.
mm,
Because pressing too hard or brushing with a hard or firm toothbrush is just going to make it worse, right? You don't want to make your sensitivity worse. Now, ways to kind of like, I don't want to, I play with the word maintain or not let it get worse is different than making it better, right? But something that can potentially make it better and at least relieve you is using a fluoride toothpaste again, stannous fluoride specifically. And then there's also sensitivity toothpaste. That's usually how they're advertised. They say anti-sensitivity. They have an extra ingredient called nitric. I'm sorry, I'm saying this wrong now. Oh my gosh. They have an extra ingredient, stannous fluoride, and then they also have that other ingredient that I'm like freaking out because you were talking about nitric oxide. And I'm like, that's not what it's called. Potassium nitrate. I was like, why do I was thinking about what you were saying. Potassium nitrate. Okay, when it has those two ingredients, it's perfect. It can actually, when you have sensitivity due to recession or whatever it is, your tooth is exposed where it shouldn't be exposed because your gums have like kind of come down.
yeah.
So that toothpaste, those ingredients I just said, those actually fill in the little tubules, and it's almost like putting like a little blanket on your teeth. That
Mm,
toothpaste really works. So if you ever have sensitivity toothpaste, anti-sensitivity, that stuff can really help your sensitive teeth.
wow. I know so many people that have those issues. So, I mean, is there a particular, let's not talk about brands, but let's talk about
No.
brands. I mean,
Yeah.
Sensodyne, is that one of the better brands for sensitivity, or is it just all marketing?
I'm all about if it's ADA approved, again, approved by the American Dental Association. So
Mhm.
that one tends to have an ADA approval, a seal of acceptance on it. If you go to the ADA's website, it'll list all the ADA approved sensitivity. They call it like dentifrice, toothpaste. You'll find it. on the ADA website. Or when you look at the bottle in the store, it usually has like, you'll look, it'll say ADA approval or ADA seal. So as long as it has that, you can't go wrong, right?
Mm,
Having said that, if it doesn't have the ADA seal, that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it hasn't gone through the trials yet of safety
mm.
and efficacy, so there's still a chance if it's a reputable brand that it's fine, but maybe it just didn't go through all the process. It takes so many years to get that seal, but you can't go wrong if it has a seal, no matter what brand it is.
Got it. Well, here's an interesting question. The pandemic has changed, people's mental,
Mm-hmm.
physical, emotional health. Have you
Yeah.
found that, you know, there's any relation or changes to dental or oral hygiene as well?
I would say it was a lot during the pandemic. Now that
Mm,
things are kind of quieting down, it's still hard because missing that year or two of going to the dentist really
mm,
took a toll on some patients,
yeah,
and it's really taking them some time to make up for lost time and to get their gums and teeth back in shape if
right.
they weren't in shape during the pandemic. So luckily, I do feel like more and more patients have started scheduling their appointments and kind of getting back on track, back on routine checkups and cleanings. But I want to say a lot of people, just like with everything, when you were working home during the pandemic, we weren't waking up and doing all the things we usually do, brushing our teeth, taking a shower. We were kind of like just kind of going on Zoom on our computer in our bed. So I
Mm,
think with everything, it kind of oral health went poorly, but it's definitely coming back up.
mm. During the podcast, you shared so many like useful tips on how to maintain, good oral health and a good routine. Are
Yeah.
there any additional final tricks of the trade that people should know to really kind of like have a solid oral hygiene routine?
Sure. I was going to say, yeah, we talked about the brushing, the flossing, or cleaning between your teeth. We talked about all that. Something I didn't mention, and how mouthwash, it's not going to make or break your routine. Use it if you want. Just stay away from the alcohol. Do alcohol free. But one thing I didn't mention, yeah, is using a tongue scraper.
Mm,
If you're gonna do something extra and you are like, I want to really like do something awesome with my mouth, what should I do? Like, I want to, if you like, a lot of people are like, I'm gonna treat myself to whitening or this, that's fine, but it's all cosmetic. If you want to do something that's going to really help your overall health and your oral health, all that good stuff, is scraping your tongue. There's so much bacteria on your tongue. Brushing it is fine with a toothbrush, but if you use an actual tongue scraper, it really gets in there in between the little bumps you have on your tongue. And yeah, use a tongue scraper.
wow, amazing. So, and you recommend that over just brushing the tongue itself?
Yeah, you can do both. Some tongue scrapers have bristles on them too, so it'll be like two in one. Like they have you brush it first and then you scrape it off. But yeah, definitely the scraping motion. Some people have told me who like aren't able to go out and get a tongue scraper, they use a spoon from their kitchen. Just a spoon. Like that works too. Works perfect.
Mm,
He's looking
all
at me.
right. Well, hey, that's something I'm gonna try tonight.
It's
Spoon in
awesome.
in the bathroom. Uh,
So surprised how great your mouth feels. It feels so clean and fresh.
oh wow! All right, I can't wait to try it today. Actually, what like two more extra gimmies, only because I know some people,
Yeah,
want are these questions are top in mind, particularly
yeah,
when I have a dental expert
yeah,
here on the show. One
yeah.
being sort of teeth whitening, and the other one being teeth straightening. Are there
Hmm.
any sort of like you know tangible what people should think about when they think about options for whitening and straightening?
Definitely. So for whitening, I always say there's three options. When you go on Instagram or you're scrolling, it seems like there's 500 million trillion, but there's three options that you got to worry about. One, and they all, well, before they all achieve the same results. These three options I'm going to tell you. It just depends how much time and money you have, right? Like if you want to get it done really fast, it's going to be more expensive. If you have time, give some weeks to just kind of go, it's going to be a little more affordable. So that's the
Mm,
only difference, is
got
how
it.
long it's going to take. But these three will achieve you the same results. Number one is white strips. Literally, everyone hears about the white strips you could get at the store. They work and they're ADA approved. I really keep talking about that, but they work. They just take some time. The only time that people don't love white strips is because maybe you have a really spitty mouth and they don't fit on your mouth, that like they kind of slide around, or they hurt your gums because they're not staying on your teeth. That's the only time. But if they work for you, great. If for some reason you want to move the step up, the second option is custom trays. There's also hybrid custom trays. I'd say there's an A and a B in number two. But the custom trays are similar to the white strips. It's just you're going to put it in like a tray. It almost looks like a clear aligner, night guard type tray. And you put the product in it, and that now it fits to your teeth perfectly. So you're not going to have any issues if you have a spitty mouth or whatever's going on. And so I really like custom trays. That's what I personally use. There's also hybrid trays where they're whitening strips in the tray, and it's like 2-in-1, which is kind of cool. So I like that too, a little more affordable than the custom tray that you'll have to get made at it'll have to be made for you from your dental office. And then the last option is in-office whitening. If your dental office offers in-office whitening, it's usually 1 hour or 2 hours at the most. And they hook you up to this whole thing. You have everything all in your mouth, and you get this 1 hour of results is going to equal like 4 weeks of using the whitening strips. So I advise against this. You're talking about sensitivity. If you have sensitive teeth, this is going to be sensitive. Think about the concentration that they're using in 1 hour versus 4 weeks. So this is good if you have like a wedding that weekend or something. You're like, I need this done today, or you want it done today. You never need it. But so that's an option. It's going to be the most expensive because it's convenient. But that's an option for some people. But yeah, I always say start with the white strips and move up. See what like go, if you are happy with them, you're good. If you want to keep, and one more thing, sorry, is that with the white strips, if you're sensitive, you could take them off yourself. If you start getting really sensitive, you're like, this is hurting. You don't have to power through, take them off. When you're in the office, it's not coming off, So that's my thing about whitening. For teeth straightening, what was the other one? Just teeth straightening in general?
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, there's a lot that's out there now. We know that there's in-office straightening versus the stuff that you could mail in and things like that.
Okay, perfect. So yes. So I made a video about this because I'm very passionate about it. But the one thing I will say is whether you do braces or clear aligners with your dentist depends on your individual situation. There's so many different factors that go into whether you would choose braces or whether you would choose the clear aligners. A lot of it, I would say, has to do if they say you're eligible for either of them, I'd say the big thing is compliance. Are you going to put in that clear aligner every single day after you eat, before you eat? It always has to be in your mouth. So that's, those tend to take a little longer than the brackets, the old school braces. Sometimes they can move teeth faster with the braces. Not always. Again, there's so many things. It depends on your jaw, and there's so many things. But if you're doing it in office with a dental provider, a dentist or an orthodontist, you're fine. But yeah, the ones that you do, no, I'm not all about when you send it in. And there's so many lawsuits with all of those companies right now. Well, I don't want to say all of them, but a good amount of them, that when you straighten teeth incorrectly, something called root resorption can happen, where the root of your tooth literally just disintegrates, goes away, and you get loose teeth. And I've had new patients that came to our office with all loose teeth, and I'm like, what's going on? Their gums look healthy. Like, I did the whatever, I won't say any brands. I don't want to bash any brands, but I did the at-home thing, and now my teeth are all loose. I'm like, oh no. Like, I've had patients that have lost teeth and needed to get implants, and so it could go really wrong if you do it from home. Like I said, those companies are paying people to not say their stories. Like, they're having you sign like non-disclosures. There's a lot of bad stuff going on with those. So I am going to speak out and say, don't even deal with that. I know it saves you so much money. So I don't want to be like the rude, like the parent or something, like, don't mess, but it's just like, you're taking a chance. It's a gamble. Like, I get it if you really want to save money, but and if it works out for you, great. But if it doesn't work out for you, you're going to spend so much more money fixing your teeth. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not an orthodontist. I'm not a dentist. I don't make money. Everyone's always like, she just wants you to go and make money from her. I don't make money off of any of that. I'm just trying to help people. I clean the teeth and make sure I'm the prevention. It's all about prevention, So I'm not fixing the teeth. I'm trying to prevent it. So stay clear from those online ones.
Such good, useful information. I really feel we jam-packed a lot of stuff here, and people listen to this podcast, they're going to have clean, healthy teeth for life. So thank you for that. How do people find out more about you and everything that you do?
Of course. So you can follow me on, YouTube is like one of my main things that I am always doing is YouTube, my videos, youtube.com/teeth talk. You can follow, I'm on Instagram. You could DM me if you have any questions about dental health at Teeth Talk Girl. I always say that very articulately because everyone always thinks I'm saying TikTok girl. And I'm like, it's not TikTok girl, it's Teeth Talk. Teeth Talk Girl. I do have a TikTok though, which is Teeth Talk Girl. But yeah, find me. And then of course my website, teethtalkgirl.com. I have a search bar on there. If there's ever a dental topic you want to know about, I've probably covered it. I have a pretty wild catalog of anything you could ever think about oral health. So you type it in the search bar, you'll probably find something I've said about it or wrote about it.
That's awesome. Such useful information and so easily digestible as well. I'm pretty sure everyone who's listened to this who doesn't know you, like, wow, this is like the person next door, where you're going to ask your teeth questions to, because I feel that way certainly. So you'll be getting a lot of my DMs and my
Yes,
daughter
please.
in Chicago.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you. You're so nice. That's what it's all about. It's just, giving the information that one thing we know, share it, and then one thing someone else knows, share it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the last question I ask everybody on the
Mhm.
podcast is in their entire life, with everything that they've seen, done, anything, what has been your best medicine?
Yoga.
Okay.
So yeah, I started yoga during the pandemic, and so it's more recent, right? Like it's been a few years now. And I used to run. I used to be a runner, and I always thought running was the best medicine for me. Everyone's different, right? And it was, but my knees would hurt me. Anyway, yoga is like especially power yoga. It's not just I used to think yoga was boring or something, but there's like yoga workouts. It's no joke, and it's my favorite thing, and I wake up every single morning excited to do yoga. And I honestly, if I didn't have yoga, other than teeth, there's like nothing else I look forward to. I just love yoga and teeth.
Oh, would you ever combine the monikers like Yoga Teeth Girl or something like
Wouldn't that be fun? I know.
that?
I don't even, you know what? That's what's awesome about yoga is it's a practice, right? I don't consider myself like a yogi, like an amazing, I'm not amazing. Like I'm intermediate at level at best. Maybe I could do some advanced poses, but and I think that's what's so cool about yoga. It's like you don't have to be the best. It's your practice and it is what you make of it. And I love that in such a competitive world we live in.
Mm.
Yoga is not competitive. They always give you different options on how to, diagram, like you can make the pose harder or easier, whatever you need. And nobody judges anyone. I love yoga. Same about teeth. Everyone's so worried about being judged and like, my teeth are bad. I don't want to go to the dentist. And same thing. We're not here to judge. We're excited and we want to help you like your mouth, that's our whole job. Nobody's judging anybody. So I think yoga and dentistry is just, yeah, maybe I should add something. Do some yoga
Wow.
teeth.
Well, pretty amazing. You would definitely, have a lot of people do yoga, because I know because of you, a lot of people will go to their their dentist or dental
I hope
hygienist.
so good.
So thank you for your time, for your energy, for all the knowledge, and for your laughs as well. And thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I love what you're doing. This is so awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Thrive State podcast. And if this podcast is bringing a lot of value to you, if you find that your life is just improving with this podcast, that your life is getting to the next level, please consider supporting it. And here's a few ways you can do so. You can do so by liking this video and commenting on this video, and also sharing this video with your friends and family. Another thing you can do is go to ratethis.com/ThriveState. Go ahead and leave us a 5-star review there. It will really, really help this show grow. And this will give me more time so that I could actually give more content to you, just like you got in this episode. And if you haven't already picked up a copy of my book, Thrive State, Your Blueprint for Optimal Health, Longevity, and Peak Performance, you can pick it up now. It became a #1 new release in longevity. Go to thrivestatebook.com. And if you enjoy the book, please consider leaving us a review as well. And the last thing you can do, if you're liking everything here and you want to work more closely with me as well as my team to get you into the Thrive State, go to kienvu.com/accelerator and consider joining the home course, the Thrive State Accelerator. It's really the course that I use. It's the concepts that I use personally when I work with CEOs, celebrities, and my high-profile clients to get them to the Thrive State. Again, the Thrive State Accelerator at kienvu.com/accelerator. And because you're a listener of this podcast, I want you to save 25% by using the coupon code podcast25. I hope we continue to give value to you. And remember always, you are your best medicine.